I have a little different video for you today. I want to talk to you about bird feeders. That is, seed feeders, suet feeders, and mealworm feeders. Presently, my wife and I have 5 of these seed feeders, 4 of which are filled with black oil sunflower seeds, and 1 which is filled with peanuts. We use a large feeder bought from both Lowe's, Home Improvement Store, and from Walmart. I can't say that they all have these feeders, but that's where we bought ours. We made this choice because we have large numbers of birds coming to eat, especially in the winter when it snows. We do not want the feeders to go empty when we go out of town, though they often do.
This feeder, manufactured in the United States, is made from recycled plastics, holds 6 pounds of seeds, and costs only about $11. The feeder is a gazebo bird feeder distributed by Cedar Works LLC, 19 Cedar Drive, Peebles, Ohio, 45660. By the way, I do not have a financial interest in any of these products. The model number is 1080522, and the UPC code is 16544-80836. When I said 1000, then 805, I didn't mean like 1805. I meant 1000805.
Here you can see an old feeder that I cut the perch off of, and the new feeder with its perch intact. All I removed is this portion right here, and you see it's very easy to do. Using the PVC saw, I simply stick it through this hole, and it's very easy to saw off the perch. You can also see the stop for the cable that holds the feeder.
I cut off this stop, which keeps the hanging cable from pulling out, and replaced it with a hook, which serves the same purpose. I used my trusty chainsaw to cut a round from a downed tree and screwed an eye into the round of wood. The result is that my rope which suspends the feeder also holds the round of wood, selected for its diameter closely matching that of the bird feeder without its perch. This way the woodpeckers land on the round of wood, select a peanut, and fly away. The chickadee and titmouse usually stand in the tray and select their peanuts, though the titmouse will sometimes hang on the side much like a woodpecker. The suet feeders come in 2 basic sizes, large and small. Remember the large economical size of laundry detergent? It's not the same when it comes to suet cakes. The small suet cake is cheaper by the ounce than the larger cakes. Therefore, it makes more sense to use small suet feeders than large ones, unless the consideration is either large birds or a longer period of time between replacing them. The feeder from Lowe's is less expensive and comes with a perch for perching birds if you intend it for them instead of clinging birds like woodpeckers. It is also a side loader, which I find convenient and doesn't need anything to lock it closed. There are also several different types of suet feeders, and the selection would depend upon how you are hanging the feeder, the type of birds you're feeding, and the amount of suet you want to present. Some suet feeders come with a perch for perching birds, front loading, side loading, or top loading. I do not like the front loading feeders for any purpose. They are less expensive though. We buy our bird seed and suet from Southern States Cooperative, but I prefer the Suet Feeders from Lowe's, at least for the larger feeders. The small Suet Feeders, which is top-loaded, is preferred for small clinging birds. Do not hang the suet cakes close to a branch of a tree. Raccoons love suet and are really good at getting to it. See my raccoon video if evidence is needed. If the top or side comes open on those types of suet feeders, nothing much happens. But if the front loading door comes open, the suet cake can tumble to the ground. So you have to use some clasp or wire to keep that from happening. With the top loader, just drop the cake in and forget it. You can put a new cake right on top of the small leftover in the bottom. At last we come to the enclosed feeder for feeding mealworms to bluebirds. Bluebirds dearly love mealworms. This type feeder keeps them out of the weather and keeps other birds from eating the mealworms, because those worms are expensive. I bought this one from Amazon.com. It was made by Backyard Boys. Most of these feeders, which I found on the internet, were in the $30 to $50 price range. This particular feeder was about $21, but shipping was $18. However, free shipping was available for a purchase over $40. I simply bought 2 feeders, so for an extra $3, I got a spare feeder, which I could certainly sell for more than the $3 difference. Bluebirds are beautiful, but they're not particularly clever. You have to leave the top open for a few days so they will learn where the worms are located and how to get in and out of the feeder. Because of an impending snowstorm, the bluebirds only had 1 day to learn. This is not really completely accurate. I had been using a domed plastic feeder for that purpose before, so they knew about the location of the worms already. After dark, the night before the snowstorm was forecast, I closed the top of the feeder, which uses an internal hex wrench, commonly called an Allen wrench, and the hex wrench is stored in a small hole in the side of the feeder. Mealworms are expensive in stores which sell bird food. Lowe's has pretty good prices on dried mealworms for a retail store, but buying them in bulk on the internet is by far the most cost-effective. Remember that unlike suet, the price of mealworms goes down considerably the larger the quantity is purchased. Don't get too worried about this bluebird having trouble getting out of the feeder. I shut the camera off and went out to liberate him, and he found his way out. We feed white millet seed too, but we just broadcast that onto the ground for the ground-feeding birds and the cardinals, which seem to like millet as much as they like sunflower seeds. So enjoy your feathered friends who come to dinner, and I hope I have provided some insight into the choices you might want to make.